the old man who never complained. At the end of a quiet little street stood an old house that time had almost forgotten. The paint had faded, the wooden fence leaned slightly to one side, and flowers bloomed quietly in worn clay pots by the front door. It was home to an elderly man named Mr. Minh. Most people in the neighborhood knew his face, yet very few truly knew his story. Every morning, before the sun had fully risen, Mr. Minh would sweep his small yard, water his flower, feed the gray cat that followed him everywhere, and slowly walk to the local market. His life was simple. He had no expensive possessions, no large family gathering around his table, and no luxurious home to impress anyone. Yet there was something extraordinary about him. No matter what happened, he never complained. When the summer heat became unbearable, he simply wiped the sweat from his forehead and smiled. When heavy rain soaked his clothes on the walk home, he quietly continued walking. When prices at the market rose and his small pension barely covered his needs, he adjusted his shopping list without a word. When his aching knees reminded him that age was catching up with him, he accepted each slow step with quiet dignity. The neighbors often wondered how anyone could live like that. Some believed he had lived an easy life. Others assumed he simply didn't care about his problems, but none of them knew the truth. Across the street lived a 12-year-old boy named Nam. Unlike Mr. Minh, Nam complained about everything. He complained when he had to wake up early for school. He complained about homework. He complained about rainy days. He complained about hot weather. He complained when dinner wasn't his favorite meal. Even the smallest inconvenience seemed like the end of the world. His mother often smiled sadly and reminded him, "Life becomes heavier when we spend all our time complaining." Nam never understood what she meant. One rainy afternoon, after walking home from school through cold wind and muddy streets, Nam burst into the house in frustration. "I hate this weather. My shoes are soaked. My books are ruined. Nothing ever goes right." While changing his clothes, he looked across the street and noticed Mr. Minh sitting quietly on his old wooden chair, watching the rain fall. The roof above him was leaking. Water dripped steadily into a bucket on the floor. Yet the old man simply sat there peacefully, listening to the sound of the rain as if it were beautiful music. Nam couldn't understand it. Later that evening, his mother visited Mr. Minh to borrow some salt. When she returned, she mentioned that the roof had become even worse. "It must be difficult for him," she said, but he never complained once. Those words stayed in Nam's mind. A few days later, curiosity finally won. He walked over and asked the old man directly, "Mr. Minh, why don't you ever complain?" The old man smiled gently before answering, "Because complaining has never stopped the rain." Nam frowned. Mr. Minh continued, "It doesn't repair a broken roof. It doesn't make an empty wallet full. It doesn't remove pain from old bones. When something has already happened, we have two choices. We can spend our energy wishing reality were different, or we can use that same energy to decide what comes next." Nam thought about those words. "But if you don't complain," he asked, "doesn't that mean you're pretending everything is okay?" Mr. Minh shook his head. "No. There is a difference between asking for help and complaining. Asking for help creates solutions. Complaining often creates more suffering. The more we complain, the more we train our eyes to search only for what is wrong." Those words confused Nam. He still believed that perhaps Mr. Minh had simply been lucky in life. Surely someone who had never experienced true pain could remain so calm. Then winter arrived. Cold winds swept through the neighborhood. Frost covered the rooftops each morning. People hurried indoors as soon as the sun disappeared. Mr. Min's health slowly began to fail. His cough became worse. His shoulders bent lower each day. Walking to the market took twice as long as before. Yet every morning he continued caring for his flowers. He continued feeding his cat. He continued greeting everyone with the same warm smile. One freezing night, Nam heard someone knocking softly on their front door. When he opened it, he found Mr. Min standing outside. His face was pale. His breathing was difficult. His body trembled from the cold. Nam and his mother quickly brought him inside and called the local doctor. The diagnosis was pneumonia. The doctor explained that the old man's body had become too weak. He needed rest. He needed warmth. Most of all, he needed someone to take care of him. Even while struggling to breathe, Mr. Min quietly apologized. "I'm sorry for troubling everyone." Not once did he complain about the pain. Not once did he ask why this had happened to him. Watching the old man lying quietly in bed changed something inside Nam. For the first time, he realized that silence did not always mean the absence of suffering. Sometimes, it simply meant someone had chosen courage over bitterness. Over the following weeks, Nam visited every day. He cooked simple meals. He cleaned the house. He fed the cat. One afternoon, while dusting a shelf, Nam noticed an old black and white photograph. It showed a much younger Mr. Min standing beside a smiling woman. "Who is she?" Nam asked. "My wife," the old man answered softly. "She passed away 15 years ago." Nam froze. "You've lived alone all this time?" Mr. Min nodded. "It was the hardest chapter of my life. There were nights when the silence felt unbearable. There were mornings when I wondered why I should even get out of bed. I cried. I questioned everything. I felt angry. I felt lost." "So you did suffer," Nam whispered. "Oh, very much." Mr. Min looked toward the window where sunlight quietly filled the room. "But one day I realized something. If I spent every day asking, why did this happen to me, I would never have enough time left to live the life I still had. My wife once told me, life does not ask us to avoid suffering. It asks us not to lose our kindness because of it." Those words saved me. I stopped trying to control everything. I began appreciating small blessings, a warm meal, a flower blooming, a friendly smile, a peaceful sunset. None of those erased my pain, but they reminded me that pain was not the only thing left in my life. Nam listened without speaking. For the first time, he understood that strength did not mean never feeling sadness. Real strength meant refusing to let sadness become your identity. As spring arrived, Mr. Min slowly recovered. One quiet afternoon, the two sat together beneath the blooming trees. The old man smiled. "Do you know why difficult days matter?" Nam shook his head. "They teach us to recognize ordinary days as gifts. We spend so much time chasing perfect moments that we forget peaceful moments are already enough. A person who never complains isn't someone with an easy life. It's someone who has learned that adding anger to pain only creates more suffering." Years passed. Nam grew into adulthood. Life brought him failures, heartbreak, financial struggles, unexpected disappointments. But whenever he felt overwhelmed, he remembered the old man sitting quietly beside a leaking roof, smiling as rain tapped gently into a bucket. He remembered the words that had changed his life. "Complaining has never stopped the rain." Instead of asking why life was unfair, Nam began asking, "What can I do next?" Instead of focusing on what he had lost, he focused on what remained. Instead of becoming bitter, he chose gratitude. People eventually noticed that Nam had become unusually calm. They often asked him how he managed to stay positive during difficult times. He would simply smile. Then he would tell them about an old man who lived at the end of a quiet street, an old man who had buried the love of his life, who had grown old alone, who had battled illness, who had faced loneliness, who had carried countless invisible scars, yet still chose kindness, still chose gratitude, still chose hope. Mr. Minh was never remembered because he lived a perfect life. He was remembered because he showed everyone that peace is not found in a life without pain. Peace is found in a heart that refuses to let pain steal its compassion. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson any of us can learn. We cannot stop every storm. We cannot prevent every loss. We cannot escape disappointment. But we can choose how we carry those burdens. We can become angry, or we can become wiser. We can become bitter, or we can become kinder. Because in the end, the strongest people are not those who never suffer. They are the ones who suffer deeply, yet still leave warmth wherever they go. And that is why everyone remembered him as the old man who never complained.